Hello, everyone. It's Les Solgrove, statewide housing analyst for Iowa Realtors, with your March market update for the state of Iowa. March was a very, very good month for real estate. Even with some swings in weather and cold temperatures, we saw listings increase in the single family homes market by 11.5%, leaving the end of the month at 4,418 new listings coming onto the marketplace. 2,682 homes actually closed, which is also up almost 4.5%. We're seeing a nice bump of median sale price currently at 7.7% year over year at 253 and 16 days on market, which is still a little bit fast from a year ago, but that's still not a bad number. Condo townhomes activity followed along that same path, although the median sale price dropped by almost 2% down to 235,990. That's not unusual in that particular category, where it usually picks up as we move farther into the spring marketplace. So we're going to look at the market review report here and focus on two or three of the different stats within this market review. And we're going to start off with active inventory. And as I start this, I'll show you down here that we showed 8,341 homes currently on the market as of March 2026 at the end of the month. And due to reporting, these numbers will be slightly different in these different reports, but they're not off by more than 4 or 5 in most cases. So let's go ahead and take a look at the month-over-month graphic that basically shows, in this case, we were at 8,342 for the month of March, and that's up slightly from January and February. However, if you look at the black line, that indicates the year-over-year trending. And what we actually expect to happen this year, as we have in past years, is that March, April, May, June, all the way through September and October is the period where inventory continues to rise as home sellers get out there and put their homes on the market, and homeowners decide that it's probably the best time to be on the market for their schedules. Now, we like to see homes come on the market all year long, but these are the months upcoming that are going to be the most busy. As far as the new listing inventory, this is the count of the homes that came on during a market. And what's interesting here is, if you look, we had 8,341 homes active for sale, but more than half of those listings came on in the month of March. Now, we also have quite a few sale pendings, and we'll get to those in a minute, but this is a good sign. And in fact, if we look at the graphic again, you see quite a jump from January and February, when we were under 3,400 homes coming onto the market that month, all the way up to 4,400. And that's almost the year high. We will see that probably in April if this trend continues, and that would be a good sign for the real estate market as a whole as well, if we can outshine the entire last year's month-by-month stats. So 4,418 new listings came on the market, and again, that's a great, great sign as we start to enter into the spring marketplace here. As far as new sale pendings, these are homes that went under contract. We have 3,481. So if you think of the inventory at 8,341 at the level it is, we had 3,480 homes actually have accepted offers on them. And that's going to be a good sign. In fact, if you kind of see this line right here that's going across, on all of these graphics, we're seeing pretty much a straight line up, with the exception of median days on market, which we want to see that one go down. And the same thing with months of supply. That's down. Now, the inventory levels, you can kind of see that long growth that we talked about a second ago, and that's what we're going to see as we move forward. But let's take a look at sale pendings now in the marketplace. And again, we're outpacing 2025's activity for offers accepted, and we're very, very close to last year's top numbers, which were just over 3,500, and we're at 3,481 already. It would be quite an accomplishment if we could surpass that and get into the 4,000 count. I don't think we've been in there probably since except for when we were in the COVID years there. So the activity is picking up. All signs are that we're firing on most of our cylinders out there. We're seeing, listings coming on. We're seeing homes go under contract, and homes are closing with very few issues. As far as the month of supply, let's take a quick peek at that. Now, this graphic I showed you last month, it was broken down in order of lowest to highest, and I've changed that moving forward here. We're going to just basically look at the statewide data on the far left, 3.7 months of inventory for the state. and then in alphabetical order of all of our local boards. So starting at Cedar Rapids, they were under 2. In fact, you get all the way over to Fort Dodge before we see that the months of inventory was really in a balanced market. Fort Dodge, Iowa City, and Iowa Great Lakes are all communities that are sometimes I don't want to call them late bloomers, but activity starts up a little bit later in those markets. Mason City and North Central are both smaller markets, and not quite a micro market for North Central like maybe Mason City is, but that just indicates that buyers are actually in favor up in those marketplaces where we have more listings available than we have the buyer population. So once we get above that 6 months of inventory, that really favors buyers. But for the most part, as you can see, the majority of the markets around the state are in that seller's market where we have more listings than we have. We have plenty of listing inventory across the state. 1.3 months of inventory down in southwest Iowa. That's the Council Bluffs area, Pottawatomie and Mills County, and so that tells you that, that market is really, really going well when you see those lower numbers like that in this time of year. As far as closed sales go, we actually saw 2,679 homeowners close, and most of them moving into new homes that they purchased in the month of March. So that's new and existing home sales. I don't want to confuse you and say that that's just new construction. This is all home sales in the single family category, and that's a great number as well. And you can see, again, looking at the chart, the nice jump we typically see is occurring. We're just over March of 2025's data, and we'll continue to see this growth going upwards as we move toward the summer months. Now, closed sale activity tends to slow down once you get past June into July, but it's kind of a slow down. As you see, it goes all the way till October. And again, these are all normal patterns. And one thing we really, really need in our real estate market in the last couple of years is some sense of normalcy. And I really feel like we're seeing that right now. And then if you want to look at the statewide, there's that 2,643 again. Pretty much the majority of the counties in the state that are having the most homes close are in that lighter blue coloring there. The darker the purple goes, it's fewer. And then if there's a missing county like we see right down in here in southern Iowa, that just means that there were no closings in that county that particular month. So we're seeing, the majority of our metro areas, Sioux City, Council Bluffs, the Des Moines and Ames market, the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City corridor area, they're all having triple-digit sales, as well as the Quad Cities and the Waterloo market. So really, really good activity as we move into the month of April here coming as we are right now. Median sale price for the month of March was $3,090. And look at that jump right there. This is, again, looking from last year. We're seeing that jump about a month early because this was March of last year, then went to April of last year until it did its jump. We've seen that jump already. So we're seeing an early start to the closed sale pricing. Again, the graphic shows you that it's outpacing 2025, and that's a good sign as well. And this same graphic is available now to show you what the median sale prices are around the state. No surprises up here, but the Iowa Great Lakes region, the lakes area, the resort areas, 427 is the, I believe, second highest, only behind Dallas County right now at 433. So good activity. Now, the last two slides we're going to look at, this is the list price received versus the list price. And you'll notice up here in the right-hand corner, it says February. And that's because I wanted to show you, as we kind of toggle between February and March, you'll get an idea of how this market does change. Not every month does the list price to sale price ratio go up or down consistently. This is February, and look, keep your eye on the left-hand side here at Cedar Rapids, for example. They jumped up into the less than 2% of range there. So it's within 2% of the list price. Same thing with the Des Moines area market and the Southwest Iowa market. Again, that Southwest Iowa market's a pretty hot market, and you can see that they made the jump. But if we go backwards again, let's go back this way. Go backwards, you can see the only market in February that was in that 2% range was the Des Moines market. It would not surprise me as we move into the April months that we'll see these increases or these numbers jump closer to that, within that 2% range there. So we'll continue to watch these as we go by every month. So with that, that is the end of the report for the month of March. My name is Les Sulgrove. You can find all these stats and more at iowarealtors.com and click on the statistics tab on the website. We'll talk to you all again next month. Have a great month.